Why do bad things happen to good people? And vice versa. Something happened to me yesterday, and I'm not saying this as like I'm a good person, you know? You ever see someone saying, I'm a good person, I'm a good person? Turns out they're probably not so good. But this had me thinking about it. Something happened to me yesterday, but I'm not gonna say what it was because I don't know. I don't know for sure yet. I don't know the outcome of the situation for sure yet, so I'm not gonna put anything into the universe. But yeah, why do bad things happen to good people? You know? I'm sorry if I go silent a couple times, it's just because I'm thinking, but it's never made sense to me. And I've always heard it. And I'm always like, well, yeah, like, that's life, you know? You can't choose, even if you're a good person, you can't choose for good things to happen. It's life. You can't choose what happens in life. That's a fact. But for some reason, I can't really stop thinking about it. And I just wanted to talk. I don't know. It helps me, you know? But yeah, I try my hardest. I'd like to think so, at least. I try my hardest. You know, life is difficult. You find it difficult to live, obviously, but you have to. And for some people, majority of people, you're able to do it. You're just able to go on through life, through the bullshit, and continue to go no matter what. Sorry, I got distracted by that. Looked like a marijuana leaf for a second on the floor. I was like, oh, my parents are smoking. But anyways, I lost my train of thought, but yeah, I like to think I try very hard. And that's difficult for a person like me. I don't know. I can't sit there and just think everything's normal. I can't just sit there and continue to live a lie, I guess. I don't know. Live a lie. I mean, my life's not a lie. I know not the people, the person that's in my life, no, is not a lie. And I don't know. But everything else in this world does not care. Well, for me at least, everything else in this world treats you like a fake relationship. You get false hope. You get told things, you know, you get told things in situations where you're really low, and those things will get you out of that like low situation and will get you thinking, and maybe get you thinking about how things are going to start getting positive finally. And you're almost there, and you're on the brink of finally feeling that, oh my god, yes, like I can finally be one of those people who just live. And then out of nowhere, it's like seeing a forest be deforested by a bunch of machinery. I don't know. I don't know why that came to my mind, but it's like seeing a beautiful forest, and then out of nowhere, all these machines come out of nowhere and start deforesting it. It's like out of nowhere, all this beauty just gets snatched away. And in that case, it's not in the blink of an eye. It's through time, but in certain cases, it's in the blink of an eye. Life can change in the blink of an eye, you know, for anybody, for the wealthiest, for the poorest, for the luckiest, for the people who are at the bottom. It can change in the blink of an eye. And it might have happened to me, you know. Hopefully I'm really hoping it not, but in some ways that's selfish of me to think. I don't know, but I feel like I just went on a tangent. But yeah, life has always worked this way. You can try your hardest, you can be the best you can, and you will still not get what you feel like you deserve. And it depends. I don't know. Get what you deserve. People think they deserve everything. People think they deserve respect, money. But other people are different. Personally, I think I deserve happiness, but at the same time, sadness will always be there. Sadness will always be there, but I feel like I deserve a little bit of happiness, at least. You know, give me the benefit. If everything's gonna be shit, right? Say this is time, right? All throughout time, shit. Just give me a little dots in that moment of happiness, you know? And I get that. I do get that happiness, but and right now I'm really trying to justify what happened. And if the cases of what happened is the bad news of the side of it, I want to be okay with that. I want to be okay with it happening, because personally, me, I'm in a spot where even if this thing does happen, I will be okay. I'm fortunate enough. I was born in a family that, you know, could support me. Like, I'm 21. I still live in my parents' house, pay nothing, basically. But, like, you hear that and then you're like, oh, this guy's like saying like, oh, why do bad things happen to good people? It doesn't sound like you really like, but like, I'm not normal. Nothing's normal really, but there's no such thing as a normal person. And I can't function as a normal person. Like, I can't just go out into society and be a person. I can't do that. It's not how it works for me. I have to prepare myself. I have to do things. I have to smoke. It sounds bad. It sounds like an addiction, but to be able to be comfortable out in public and stuff like that, to be able to, I don't have to be, it just helps. I can do it without it. It just really helps. And my head's just racing right now. I'm sorry. I started off with bad things happening to good people, and I've probably talked about 5 different things now, but it's how I've always been. My head's always been constantly running. There's never been a static thought in my head. But that doesn't mean I've never thought the same thing like over and over again. Like this, I've thought about this before. Bad things happening to good people. But right now it's just really not like making me not want to do anything, because that's the cycle, right? If that's what happens, if something good is about to happen to you and then it fails, and then you're just stuck in a rut, you know, you can't put yourself in that rut. You have to keep momentum going. Everything is about momentum, you know? Like when you're driving a car really fast and all of a sudden you hit your brakes, you start stopping your momentum, you feel the feedback, you feel it. And I feel like it's the same way in life. I don't know. You will feel that feedback of you slowing down. And I mean, personally to me, the feeling of speeding up in a car is way better than slowing down, but it feels way better to go fast than it is to go slow. And if you live your life slow, then you're gonna feel slow. But if you live your life fast, and not in the sense of like, I don't know, some people think like work is life. Like, I don't know, whatever you think life is, you can't go through it fast. That's not what I mean. But like, you can't be slow. And what I mean by that is like, you can't think of the things you want to do and just think them. You have to do them. And you've probably heard that before. I've heard it a million times. But I feel like once you hear it enough, it clicks. Because for me, that's what happened. It recently clicked for me. And now I just see things way differently. You know, my family says, this isn't who you are, this isn't who you were raised. And it's like, what does that really mean? Like, I I still don't understand it. I don't have like a thing to compare it to, but like nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. I don't know. I'm really sorry. I'm fucking just, I'm all over the place. There's a crow. Oh, I love nature. And I live in Arizona, which sucks. Because there's not a lot of it here. I mean, I guess you see the trees behind me, but you get some green, but I look over there and I see a plain, you see nothing, you know? I want to be covered in nature because that's what I feel like, that's where we're supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be here making this. Like, I'm not supposed to be here talking about this. I'm supposed to be fucking eating grapes, mushrooms, and fucking picking food off the back of my fellow monkey. But somewhere along the road, the people with the bad interests gain control. Because here's the thing, bad and evil. That's for a different video, I guess, because I want to start making these. And shout out to Gooby and Doobie. His video popped up. His first video of him just talking popped up on my recommended 2 years ago, I think it was. And I remember seeing it uploaded an hour ago, and I clicked on it, watched it for maybe 5 minutes, and I thought, this is boring, you know? This is just boring. This dude's just sitting here talking. What am I getting out of this? There's no dopamine being rushed into my head. And it's funny to think that way now, or to think of how I thought of that back then, but maybe a week ago, sorry, I just got a text from my girlfriend. Maybe a week ago, a video got recommended to me again by him. Didn't notice it was him. I just clicked on it because it was something I started looking more into, and it was about consciousness, and he talked about it, and that got me hooked. So I was like, I clicked on the channel, and I was like, I went through the videos, and I watched a little bit of the beginning of that video, and I went back and I watched it, and I finished it, and I was hooked. That first 5 minutes 2 years ago was like hell for me. It was like sitting there and look at school, basically. School was hell for me, but now, a week ago, it was like I was watching the best movie I've ever seen in my life. And I've always watched those type of I haven't always watched those type of videos, but I've always been the type to look at those type of videos and be like, why don't they work for me? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, people sit here and it's like they're giving you the answer, basically giving you the answer, being like, hey, nothing, like, you know. And I never grasped it, but something about him, I don't know if it's his like soul, or I don't know. Like, I'm a very spiritual person. I don't believe in God or the Christian God or any type of religion, but I'm spiritual, I'd like to think. I don't know, I like to think that consciousness is just shared, but in this moment, we're all individually experiencing it, and after that, we're just all back together. I don't know, some mushroom shit, right? It's funny. I've never really tripped off of mushrooms. I've taken mushrooms, but I've never tripped off of mushrooms. I've only felt vibrations. And that's weird to me, because the other day I had the thought of, like, maybe it's just not time for anything to happen. Do you know? Because I hear people talking about stories about mushrooms and all this, like, they speak to you, all these, like, but the only time I've taken them, I've seen like wavy effects, and I've only felt vibrations, and I've never felt more like clearly headed. Like, after shrooms, I've never been like, oh my God, like, we're all one, we're all connected type, but it's weird that if we're the only species that has this form of communication, right? But they can talk to you, right? But isn't it weird how these plants that they're not plants, sorry, this fungi that has been here for, I'm guessing, billions of years. I don't know the science. I went to school. I failed every class. I'm in society. I'm a low life. I have no function in society. Like, but I do. I have a function in this life, even if I'm not fucking a normal person. You know. I completely lost my train of fungi. Yeah. It's funny how that fungi, billions or millions of years old, and they're telling us these simple things of you need to learn to love yourself, you have to heal, you need to do, it's up to you, really, and everything is connected, but it's up to you to complete that connection. You can't just live life being like, oh, I'm part of, you know, the system, or I'm not saying the system as in like the system, the government, but I'm talking about like the earth system, like the way I breathe out oxygen and these plants fucking breathe it in and turn it into, or whatever, I don't know the certain terms or whatever, but I'm breathing out and these plants behind me are breathing that oxygen back in, or whatever, vice versa, whatever, however it works. And that's a cycle. It wouldn't work without them, you know. And it's like, it just makes me upset. But it's okay to be upset, you know. Some people be like, never live your life upset. There's no reason to be upset, be happy. But it's okay to be upset. Just never let that obsession, never let, oh, there's a bee on my bong. He's just chilling. And it's weird, recently I've used to always be scared of bees, but now it's like, worst thing that's gonna happen is it's gonna sting me. But like, for the bee, it's gonna die. That's even worse than me being stung. A little bit of pain versus not living anymore. So just looking at things differently really helps. And, you know, yeah, I've really went off tangent with this. But yeah, you look at how the world works and all you see is these big corporations, these people with so much money, so much greed, so much hate. But they tell you they love everyone. They'll tell you they do the good things. They donate to the charities. They give out, they do things to show the world that they're good. But behind closed doors, you know what they're doing. They're only doing things that benefit them and their families. Like millionaires, like all billionaires. Let me not say millionaires, because I feel like you can have $1 million and be a good person. But once you're past that, like if you have if you have tens of millions of dollars, like, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. If I can live a comfortable life making $100,000 a year and live life happily, why the fuck do I even need $1 million? You know? And I guess you can say, like, but if you work hard, you should deserve those things. And I'm not saying, like, you don't. You do deserve the things you work for. But how is someone gonna sit there with all this wealth, literally all this wealth, to the point where they can stop working for, if to the point where if you can live forever, these people can stop working for probably hundreds of years. Like, and then you have people on the side of the street now that can't afford a piece of fucking gum. It really, and look, the thing is those people that can't afford the piece of gum, a lot of those, not a lot, I'm not going to say, I'm not putting these into statistics. Some of those people are horrible people, yeah, and they may have deserved it, but those other people worked hard in their lives. They tried, they did everything they could, but at the end of the day, the system, and the system I'm talking about now is, you know, the system we live in, it bends them over backwards and it kicks them out the door. And they can't do anything. They can try their hardest, but they cannot do anything. And it's funny because I had this conversation with my cousin a couple nights ago, and he was just telling me, like, it's up to them to get out of that situation. And it's like, yes, it is up to that person to choose to want to get out of the situation. But they can't be the one to make it happen. You know? They can try to, but they can't be the one to make it happen. They can show up on time, they can do the job right, they can make the right connections, but they can't be the one to make it happen. And it's like, what about those people? It's like, even if you're a millionaire or a billionaire and you think about it, and it's like, okay, if like, but like in your viewpoint, if you work for it, you earn it. Those people worked for it. So do they not earn it? Do they not like it? They do. And even in my opinion, the people who don't deserve it still deserve at least fucking shelter and food. The bare minimum to survive in this world. The bare minimum. Not everyone needs to be equal. Not everyone needs to have the same amount of money. You can still be a billionaire, okay? Just no starving people. No people on the streets. That's all, like, it. And this could change. This could happen. It could happen, but it won't, because it will affect those people at the top. Even though there's probably a way for them to still live those luxurious lives while still people at the bottom. But, like, it's arrogance. It's ignorance. And ignorance isn't bliss. If you're ignorant, I don't know. I feel like even if you're a billionaire, you don't escape unless, like, you die in a horrific way, and I guess you, like, die instantly. You have no thought. But if you're on your deathbed, which I feel like most billionaires will die on their deathbeds, because, you know, that's the only thing they figured everything out. But the one thing they cannot figure out is death. That's the one thing they cannot do. That's why they love having kids, is because that's the one thing that can continue, that they can, like, not continue themselves, because they won't be living it, but it's still technically them living on. And that's the only thing they can cling to, is it. And, like, it makes me think, it's like, even these people, I bet you, on their deathbeds sit there and be like, wow, I fucked up. Even the worst of the worst people, I feel like if they truly sit on their deathbed, they truly think they fucked up. And at that point, it's too late. At that point, it's way too late. And I don't know. Shit, it's been 22 minutes. I thought I was going to be out here for like 6 minutes, but yeah, I just wanted to talk and rant real quick. Yeah, I don't know. I might do this more often. See ya.